First of all, how did you find this place? What was the key to coming here?
We read about it in the guide in our apartment that we rented, and it said that it was somewhere out of the ordinary because it's in a defence tower, and that it's the best Mexican food in the city because the city has terrible Mexican food.
And it said that friendly atmosphere and really good sort of mixture of food. So it was also, wasn't it also on the Japanese?
Yeah, it said something about fusion food and Mexican. So we thought.
Is that what appealed to you? This mix of styles of food?
Yeah, we just.
That's cool that I can be having a burrito and Rachel is going to have green curry.
And then we're going to have tempura prawns.
That doesn't happen in a lot of places, so it's a good mix of two very popular, I think, types of food.
Well, actually, I had a chef, he's Polish, who I started this idea with because he worked in London in restaurants where they had rather unusual, eclectic menus. But this was always kind of a dream of mine. The best dishes from wherever.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So have you never been to a restaurant before where you've seen something like that?
No, not at all.
Chicken cheese. Thank you.
I don't think. I think I've been in Hong Kong. They do a lot of fusion food, but it's more Asian fusion, whereas this is very much everywhere, kind of like you say, global tapas.
There isn't really anywhere in England where you would go and get Mexican food
No.
with Asian.
No, I think you would be actually quite sceptical of it because you wouldn't think that they could be good at
Both
everything.
things, you think it was terrible.
Okay, but once you got here, did you have any trouble finding it?
Once we came through the gap in the road and we saw it, we thought that is obviously a defence tower.
But it was interesting because when we were walking down, we thought we're going to have to ask people walking, locals, but none of the locals
They've never heard of it.
about it.
Never heard of it, and they were obviously people who live in this.
But what did you ask for? What was the name you gave?
Abrams Tower. We said it was a defence tower.
Yeah, well, it used to be known as Baszta, which is the generic term for, it means literally guard tower in Polish, so perhaps some of them knew that. But what's amazing to me is that a lot of people coming here, people like yourselves, who read about the place through tourist guides, and locals who could be 50, 60, 70 years old, never heard of it.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. So you've been obviously to the market square, the big center.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, we were saying that it becomes...
It's terrible, but it's
generic.
almost standard. Like, wherever we go on holiday, it's part of the type of people that we are. We tend to not go near the main square. That would be off-putting because you would think that that's a tourist trap and that they don't do particularly good food. That's always been my experience.
I haven't seen as well, how you call it in English, as soulful. It's a place with a something, with this, with this something.
So then why do you think the Rennick is so packed with people?
It's commercial. It's not artist. It's not having a soul. If you wanna do something really soulful in this city, best place.
Thank you very much. So this is your first time
Yes.
in the tower?
Yes.
And you were born in Wrocław?
Yes, of course.
And you never knew about this place before?
No.
Extraordinary.
Yes. This is impossible place. It is very good place. This is very good job. The windows. Please. Oh. Okay.
Say something. What about the windows?
It's beautiful. It's amazing.
I see it as a model, not just a model for what can be, but a model for what shouldn't be. I mean, a guy comes out from west coast of California, the epitome of, the States, of hopes, aspirations, and dreams, comes out here as a pioneer, late 80s,
Well, that was the beginning. That was my first visit. This is long before I ever did anything like this or imagined that I would. But what do you think about, look, this is Saturday night, and these seats here we got some people upstairs, you can hear them, but what's the deal? I mean, this is...
It's a shame. Seriously, it's a real shame, because, this place would be a happening, groovy place in New York and Soho, or any place, even in San Francisco. This is Wrocław, Poland, and Wrocław is a beautiful city, has starking potential, it has an awful lot going for it. The pity is that, from my limited experience, nobody's gotten hip to the fact that you can do something really special, and it doesn't have to be a big commercial venture. There's no long-term vision here. There's no looking around the corner, immediate gratification, and the irony of all that is that it's,
Well, there is. The city is promoting itself for the hopes of being the host of the 2016 Culture Capital. The city has big plans for the future, but I think it's in contradiction to an overall general attitude that we're talking about.
Yeah, it is. When I look at a place like this, I look at Abrams Tower, I look at not just the potential here, but everything that's gone into this place. And I would like to see it, personally, I would like to see it flourish. There's been a lot of heart, there's been a lot of, art, there's a lot of, people come here, it's romantic not just because of the location, it's romantic because of the atmosphere. And the atmosphere is not about candles, it's about, love. There's a lot of heart put in this place. This place is a song. There's some serious restaurants in Wrocław. There's some really good talent. There's some, 4 or 5 star quality places. I'm from New York City, and I can say that honestly, there's maybe 2 apart from Abrams Tower.
For example?
Good question.
So could you tell me something about what it's like to enter this building?
Well, it's a complete nightmare unless you're a Pole and you've been living in the city forever and you know all the little ways getting here, you can find it. But if not, there's no way you're going to find it at all. There is no sign, but obviously it feels like coming through the backyard. You're going in between the cars instead of squeezing your way in, and it doesn't feel right. And it's a nice place. It should be a nice way of getting here.
Okay, but through all that, you still managed to get here.
Well, I did, because I was determined. I've chosen this place. I wanted to have my party here, so that's why I did it. But I think if I were a tourist with a map and I couldn't find it, I would probably say, okay, let's find something else.
But what about just the ambience outside as compared to the inside?
Well, outside it feels like, like a poor neighborhood with sort of, I don't know, probably low social class people enjoying themselves having beer outside. Whereas inside it's a proper place for a nice meal and a good bottle of wine.